Alrighty, my gamers, my dear Guilty Gear consumers, Sunday evening again, and coming up soon on Bounty Hunters, as you may know, is a hot rocking show match action. Our haul of the evening is 6 matchups tonight. Had to unfortunately cancel one of the planned ones, but no worries. We got decent action-packed evening to be happening. So if you're wondering what kind of event we're running here, we're basically open to everyone to participate. Doesn't matter if you're a rookie, intermediate, advanced player, doesn't matter. We'll match you up with someone of your respective skill level and then set you up with show matches here on our humble little event. The name of the game, as you may know, is Guilty Gear Strive, and the format is first to 7 wins. I'm your usual host QK, and now let's see what we got in store for tonight. So we've got plenty of newcomers actually. I think every matchup slot tonight except the one on the 5th one, which is also pretty fire. Thunder Kitty versus Leif are gonna be slots with new players we've never seen before. Starting from the top, we've got in the first one, of course, Tibisu not rocking Sin tonight, actually playing Venom, but their opponent is Slityn on Happy Chaos, making their debut tonight. In the second one, we got UwOfy playing May versus Lu, who we've seen a couple of times on that Potemkin on Bounty Hunters before. The slot number 3, we've got we got basically a whole pair of new players. Mino on Bridget and Brenda on Abba. Gonna be that nice and controversial two kind of different characters against one another. Bridget in the keep away and the set play department, and then Abba in the very unique install kind of action, trying to get in, trying to maul the lighter character. In slot number 4, we've got Badoor coming back with that Venom, dual Venom tonight, which is really love to see that. I was about to say surprising to see, but I mean there are a decent amount of Venom enjoyers that we're gonna have them here and there. Venom matchups though are a little bit of a sort of question mark still, because Venom doesn't appear that often on competitive play, I would say. Exulans Yuki is gonna be the opponent for Badoor in another one of those. Well, I guess this one it depends. How easily do you keep Nago out really while blood is open on a keep away character? Then we got the matchup in the 5th that we were talking about, and we're gonna finish the evening up with a Milia versus Nago, another very two different sides of the spectrum kind of characters. Milia, one of the softest characters, one of the fastest characters in the game as well, against one of the sort of slowest, especially when the blood is running out. Yuki, the original one-shot character capable of actually one-shotting pixies like Milia and Chip, piloted by none other than Hoplan. I guess I didn't mention that Vidareq is gonna be the pilot for Milia here. High-level Milia action, also almost as pleasurable to see as high-level Venom play. Although they do say that maybe just maybe in the current day patch, Milia ain't actually that bad anymore. There's a lot of Milia believers since the latest amount of the big patch wave, which did give Milia back a decent amount of stuff, and I guess more importantly took down the competition a notch. But yeah, that'll be what we are rocking for tonight. Let me bring out the card for the first match and call players to the lobby. I think we got Slityn already, so just need Tibisu. get our ID for the evening as well. Okay. So Happy Chaos versus Venom matchup. Two characters that do sort of a little bit of the same. You start at preferably fairly far away from the opponent. Try to make use of your unique ranged mechanic. In case of Venom, that is of course summoning balls, setting up different kinds of approaching walls of projectiles. And on Happy Chaos, you would love if you could just go into your steady aim stance, maybe shoot once, then pick up from here, or just make the opponent block like one normal, make sure that your gun mechanic attaches immediately, and then go mix them up. Of course, I guess when Venom is concerned, like how much time do you actually have for setting up your formations though against a character like Happy Chaos, who, you know, on a moment's notice could go into that steady aim stance, lock onto you. It takes like what is it, like around half a second, something like that, and then just start blasting. And once you're in that, once you have your reticle locked onto the opponent, that's when it gets really tough. Names are backwards, by the way. Let me fix that before. There we go. All right, Slityn working in the corner already. Tibisu, of course, interesting to see how well we are capable of piloting these characters. These are two actually relatively technical characters. Happy Chaos, of course, always. Ooh, how did the side switch end up happening there? Either way, Tibisu probably very happy to get out of that cramped little place that is called the corner in fighting games. Finding a good hit. We have so many resources on the Slityn side. Putting yourself in the corner, no worries. As long as we have our unique mechanic ready to go, or our unique resources for Happy Chaos, which is the bullets and the concentration, it should be okay. Locked down by the Dark Angel. Fights a low there in the middle of the string. Decent amount of damage, especially since you don't commit too much by throwing out that Dark Angel. Going for a little shimmy with that Carcass Raid. Got the wall break. Life situation is equalized and both characters are loaded. You bet your ass a Dark Angel gonna be coming. Although, unless you set it up somehow in exactly the kind of situation that we had here, Dark Angel is often like pretty easy to jump out of. Is a very slow approaching projectile. The threat of it, if you manage to make your opponent block it, that's when the fun begins. That's a lot of corner carry and potential mix-up opportunities for you. It's a nice jump off, lands into a low, forcing Slityn to go into a burst if he wants to keep the corner. And make no mistake, you do want to keep the corner, especially in Guilty Gear Strive, but for slightly different reasons. Guilty Gear Strive is a game where breaking the wall gives you... Oh, nice juggle there with the Dark Angel. Oh, but he had the exploding head coming back. I always forget, as an OG Guilty Gear player, you're used to Dark Angel just being that big, huge projectile. But in Strive, there's actually a follow-up with that Robokai head afterwards. Tibisu locking himself on the board with the first win here. It is still a very powerful tool. Used to be like one of the most suffocating supers to deal with in old XX and Exerd. The sort of original fire it, and if they block it, great, you're already winning kind of a super. Making really good use of it, Tibisu, so far in the game number 1 with the instant air dash. You're gonna see a lot of this against zoning characters like Venom, who, you know, would like to have a little bit of free time to maybe set up those balls and then fire them at you. But if you're being aggressive, if you're approaching from various different angles, most importantly the air angle, which is again what Slityn tried to trick here. Slightly swinging a miss here. Already Slityn with a full amount of resources in the form of tension, which will lead into Deus Ex Machina. Here's the wall break. Here's the signature mechanic of Guilty Gear Strive. Putting your opponent in a hard knockdown state. If you manage to break the wall with a super and then get into that ever so precious positive bonus state, which not only gives you a ton of resources, but also extra damage and extra defensive modifier. Ooh, nice, was able to fire the ball and then still go for the anti-air 6B. working with the corner, got the knockdown. So even if you don't get the super wall break, you still do manage to get the positive bonus. But the situation is usually rather even afterwards. Stinger, heavy version catches. Oh wait, with the Dark Angel follow-up still came back from God knows where. Tibisu with a nice life lead, which is exactly what you would want. Venom historically very good at dealing chip damage. Because you can, like, if you want to approach Venom from the other side of the screen, you are on a standard character usually expecting to take a little bit of damage before you can work your way in. Although for a character, oh no, got thrown out of the raw mix-up, which is usually got what a lot of players I like to go for. From that command grab, wall break, not the biggest amount of damage, but firing the Dark Angel again. Can we get over? Yeah, this is the other difficult thing. Even if you manage to avoid the projectile, the super itself, you are kind of in a predictable trajectory which your opponent can try to intercept. Ooh, managed to fit a 2P in there. And instead of just going for the small time 2P into Stinger, which probably wouldn't have even killed Slityn here, Tibisu going for a 2P RC, which launches them into a quotations full combo. Of course, the proration is there, but when you need to squeeze just a little bit of damage, especially on those guts, stuff like that is nice. Was able to get the burst here very early into the round. Mash through the carcass rate. Okay. Air interception again into a very decently sized combo for Venom scale. Venom is definitely not a character you see dealing a huge amount of damage. From the soft knockdown, should be able to, yeah, again intercepted with the jumpy. Here comes the follow-up attack, not getting hit this time, but it is plus a ton, and Tibisu setting up pressure afterwards. Looking to go so far so good. I was a little bit worried for Venom, like how well would you be able to actually get up and, or set up and get your zoning play going. But I guess it is a very different kind of matchup when both of you are kind of like far range characters. And now getting a throw, able to set play once again, set a carcass straight, using that 5 heavy vacuum function to set up the throw mix up afterwards. They do say that the command grab is actually one of the best, or one of the better things in Happy Chaos's kits. Able to always secure at least corner carry coast to coast, and in many cases also getting wall break out of that. Nice, not letting Tibisu run out of the corner. Well placed 2K, keeping them there, keeping it in there, snug and tight. Ooh, tried to go for a 6B, but the angle wasn't quite good. Slityn air dashing over, and now with the zoning pressure runs out of the concentration mechanic, which you can see above the tension bar. You have the bullets, and then you have the other gauge, which is Happy Chaos's concentration. Two important resources to manage at the same time, which does, like we said earlier, make his character a little bit tricky to pilot. Not just the combo execution, but also the resource management part of the game. So with a very decently large combo, this time getting the 6P again, air to air. These have been favoring Tibisu really well. But Venom has always been a character with pretty decent normals. Even if you don't necessarily manage to set up your balls, while it does reduce the consistency, it increases the risk that you take, it doesn't necessarily make your, like, the pokes that you have bad. It's usually like your rewards as Venom from landing your normals, they aren't as good as many other characters, which is why you would like to engage in this kind of start from far range and flow with your projectiles into the opponent's kind of guard kind of gameplay. Just because of the risk-reward discrepancy, which is ever so important in fighting games. And again, the air-to-air there with the jump slash. He's putting the opponent in the corner. What can we work? Good use of FD there. This time pushing Tibisu's Venom away so that they couldn't connect with the 5 heavy. That's one of the downside of the extremely good move. If the opponent FDs you out and you miss, you might get swung instead. And now let's see how Slityn is swinging very very fast and very furiously, finding an air-to-air conversion of their own. Small drop there. Can we get out? Misses the air throw as well. This is a dangerous situation. Forced to block the jump D. Which is sort of the new jump D for Venom is what match struggle used to be in the old games. Kind of a dive kick that leads into really good plus frame situation. Again, going a little bust there in the concentration department. The good news is if you do go bust on your concentration resource and Happy Chaos, it comes back slightly faster than normal. So you're not eternally locked into that desperate state. Now in the air already, doesn't quite manage to make it past, and Tibisu with the ball break and with another successful game. Starting to look extremely good for Tibisu. Everything is just working out as you would expect it to. Good instant air dash interception, forcing Tibisu the burst very fast. The curse is applied, which is usually, this is generally like maybe the most preferable way Happy Chaos would like to get started. Apply the curse, which makes the reticle track a little bit faster. It doesn't latch faster, but you know, it's still a huge advantage in terms of like how neutral is played and how the pressure is played when the reticle just follows the opponent a little bit faster. Again, able to make the 5 heavy whiff. This is actually big. If Slityn could leverage this and force Tibisu to whiff their buttons in the close range pressure, you do open your opponent up to a lot of whiff punishing specifically. If you have the guts to go for those whiff punishes, it can be a little dangerous when you're on the receiving end of things and defending. Just having to believe that, okay, I think my defensive option is gonna make you whiff, and therefore I gotta preemptively sort of swing into it. Dark Angel coming out again, intercepting from the air with the jump B. The follow-up combo, is that gonna be a wall break? That would have been. So Slityn had no choice but to go for the burst, and now 0 life and a dream turn into nightmare here slowly for Slityn. On their debut match on Bounty Hunters, Tibisu looking like they have just no mercy whatsoever. The Venom looking pretty clean after seeing nothing but sin from this player for a very long time. Sending a couple of stingers. Those stingers, especially the heavy versions, are so fast. Probably fast enough to, like, if the Happy Chaos player is already not shooting at you, then probably kind of hard to take the shooting stance against this character if they just commit to the heavy stinger. Able to jump. Oh, but the follow-up! The follow-up goes nowhere, even if Venom does get hit. Nice interception here. It's simple geometry, as they say. And a finishing touch with, you know it, stinger heavy version. So fast. I mean, it's always been so fast, but especially so it feels like in Guilty Gear Strive. Got them with a throw. I think Slityn was... I wonder what they're trying to do. Maybe 2D there. Got the 5D mash out during the middle of the string. Yeah, look at that. It's so fast. Getting enough time and enough respect to summon all the balls at once. Not being able to utilize them, though. Close last starter. This is big. Can we bring it home? Drops the sequence in the middle, although happy little accidents can turn into big resets. Tibisu is like, go back in there, though. Dark Angel resources are available. But before that can happen, Slityn goes for a reload here. Deus Ex Machina, another utility super. Actually, both the supers from Happy Chaos are sort of the utility tools. The Deus Ex Machina, the damage version, or the damage the damage super does completely reload your gun, whilst the super concentration, as the name implies, gives you a full concentration bar and then some. But now, 6 straight. Once again, good start, predicting the stinger, which on the most simple layer 1, you just instant air dash over and punish Venom. Of course, not something that you can do on reaction, as many fireballs in fighting games are concerned. Go for the curse, and in the aftermath, Tibisu getting an anti-air and an opportunity to set up a couple of balls. This is kind of like what hasn't been happening too much so far. Tibisu has played with very basic projectile games, maybe summoning one ball, maybe summoning like, or maybe not even summoning at all and just going for those stingers, because you only have limited amount of time for against a character like Happy Chaos. Through the wall, this is a big chance. It has to start here, getting the throw, and we got a round under our belt. This could be it. This has to be it. If Slityn wants to bring it back, it has to start right now. Oh, but Tibisu remembers the instant air dash coming out again, and this time was already with the anti-air. And now what do we follow up with? Set up the plus frames. Oh, where the Q5 going? Completely off the mark. I guess there is a little bit of a sort of a dead zone there, because Q5 does manifest pretty far away from you. A little bit of trigonometry here. A little bit of math with the balls. Here comes the instant air dash, picks it up. Very nice. Ooh, another interesting side swap there. And here comes Dark Angel. Can we? Oh, what's gonna happen here? I think the Dark Angel isn't gonna disappear. Here it comes. And it's gonna be the round. Damn, I do like the response, and that would have worked out if Tibisu was like relatively close to death as well, because majority of your super's damage will be dealt instantly, whereas Dark Angel is extremely delayed. Nice match here with the 2K2D, ending it with concentration, but now we gotta get out of this corner. Nice flipping the positions. Ready with those K buttons, especially that 2K, as they call in the industry, the DLC 2K. Extremely fast, extremely good hitbox, extremely good low profile, and let's hope that it carries Slityn here to victory. Burst has been used, Tibisu still holding on to one. Able to block in time on that cross-up. Finding 2K2D again, here it is, putting the opponent in the corner. What can we do here? RC making sure that there is no counterplay, wall break, and I think this is it! Throwing in the other super that we have completely missed during this set. No worries, Dark Angel is good enough. Tibisu clears it 7-0 with a character we haven't seen him play before. Looking very good. The base is there, upon which you can start building up in the future as you get fancier and fancier. Maybe you add more ball formations, maybe you add more set play and stuff, but this time, this is enough to take it home for the Team France with decent numbers as well. Alright, moving on. We've got a high damage matchup coming, even though Mei, very, well, graphically a small character, definitely not a small character in terms of like the amount of punishment she can put out. Against one of the de facto big bodies, Potemkin, the one and only grappler of the franchise, if you would argue that. I guess it's fair to say, has there ever been like a pure command grab character other than Potemkin? Not really, right? But yeah, both characters extremely destructive at close range. Both characters have that same ability to turn their standard pressure starter close slash into a ton of plus frames. Mei is one of the characters, one of the privileged characters who has a +3 close slash instead of just +1, whereas Potemkin, well, he's even better. I think Potemkin is like is it +4 or +5? I think it's +4. But the sort of the design philosophy of Guilty Gear Strive dictates usually that if your character does not have the standard mobility or is lacking in the mobility department, you usually have a close slash that is slightly more plus than the rest of the cast. Your mileage may vary though, because you have cases like maybe Gold Lewis, who does have the standard +1 close slash. But yeah, both these characters are really good at converting that close range pressure into tick throws. Potemkin with that iconic Buster, but May also with Overhead Kiss. Now, Overhead Kiss not necessarily like as hard hitting as a command grab like Potemkin Buster, but the sort of the balancing factor there is that her mobility combined with the plus frames that she can put out, it's really hard to get out of that strike throw pressure, and it's a little bit easier for her to call out high level defensive techniques as fuzzy jumping that you have to do to get out of those stick throw situations consistently and safely, because she is like a little bit more plus than many other characters, and she has maybe a couple of tools that can reach places that some other characters cannot. Okay, there was a request to check the buttons before we start, which I'm unsure how that goes. You can just set up your buttons in the menu before the game, or is there some sort of like black magic with like different controller types? Unsure. I wouldn't put it past Guilty Gear Strive though to do a lot of weird things sometimes. Now that I think about it, there have been cases where some players are experiencing a complete button reset in certain situations. I think Zoc has had that and has talked about it a couple of times. And I think maybe, wait, did I have that once as well? There are some really weird peculiarities when it comes to like, especially player lobbies in Guilty Gear Strive. And don't I know it, having hosted this game for, well, how many years already? Pretty much through the whole lifespan of the game. And it has been, like, as much as we all love the game, it is probably like one of the fighting games with the most technical difficulties, bugs, glitches, all that kind of sort of thing related to sort of the user interface and everything related to it, the UX. But hopefully things are gonna work out here. Usually it's like the most common pain point is actually the servers. Okay, we got our players back in the lobby. Probably ready to bust at any moment. Alright, here we go. Potentially explosive conversions if you got the execution behind it. Potemkin, one of the public enemies #1 at the moment. A couple of patches ago, got some interesting, very powerful changes that has been one of the go-to characters to beat. Let's see what we can do here in the. Oh, I forgot to update the names as well. Let's fix this one quick. Blue on the left, UwOfy on the right. I guess with the flip position here. Oh, utilizing the armor! What an interaction! Collides with the dolphin, and then we're canceling into Heavenly Potemkin Buster because your opponent is airborne there. That was great presence of mind from Lu. able to sort of ascertain what the situation is during that Roman cancel slowdown. Really important ability with many modern fighting games where you can actually, you know, through the universal mechanics slow down time or even stop time momentarily. Here comes Lu with the Buster, and it's too safe! Oh, hello, the damage doesn't go through. Oh, maybe there is a comeback chance. Lu is holding on to that burst still though, and UwOfy basically has nothing, absolutely nothing to their name. There it is with the five frame signature punch. 5B from Potemkin. Lu taking it 1-0. It's not the first time that has, you know, I've seen it happen, or it has also happened to me where you're doing your Potemkin Buster and then you're RCing just a little bit too early before the sort of the damage portion of the Buster registers, because it kind of registers like late into the animation there, even after like you've already hit the ground. So it's kind of easy to go for that RC a little bit too early. Again, nice this time with UwOfy recognizing how the sort of the armor moves interact with each other, and once you touch that Potemkin armor, even if you're technically punishable, you can go for the red RC and produce another shockwave to break Potemkin out of it, at which point Potemkin would have to sort of go for the RC as well to sort of counterplay or save himself. Nice round here for UwOfy. Oh, that's gonna be punished. Yes, takes it with a close slash. However, close slash too heavy. Maybe didn't have the charge there for a Dolphin to keep up the combo. And now have to somehow find their way out of the corner. Go first comes out. Fireworks, at least it was not punished. And now, Lu with a huge amount of resources, still holding UwOfy in the corner. Can we get some real estate? There we go, with the aforementioned close slash pressure. And again, collides with the armor. A really nice RC for UwOfy. And a decently big combo as well. Gaining the positive bonus here, gotta be really careful! 100-meter Potemkin, one of the most dangerous things to face in Guilty Gear Strive. Has kind of always been the case. Potemkin is just so good at forcing himself in like doing big haymakers, big Hail Marys. When you have 50-meter, oh, well, that thought we could have counter hit here. Doesn't quite convert, but we still get the wall. A decent amount of tension, and again, make sure that there is no armor shenanigans from the side of Potemkin. Slowly grinding it down. A 50-meter, what can we do with it? Tries to go for a sneaky little reset here in the Potemkin Buster. UwOfy says no. It's decent amount of like, at this scale level especially, you don't often see this amount of like, specific really important counterplay against Potemkin. All those like RCs where you collide with the armor, super important. Sometimes you don't even see those at like an advanced skill level match. Either the armor crush or what is it? Armor break? Armor crush? Guard crush. That's the name of the. That's the name of the mechanic. Tries to go for a preemptive, heavily Potemkin Buster. Oh no! UwOfy doesn't manage to get out of the corner during that super, but now finding a hit. Burst is still available potentially for Lu. If they want to take it, just goes for a 5 heavy. Big far-reaching move, the kind of which Potemkin has kind of lacked in previous iterations of Guilty Gear. This time, we get the close slash punish. There we go. Now it works out. That's the damage. That's the damage we've been looking for our Dolphin girl. That's going to be a punish as well. 2K2D set up the O key with the beach ball. 100-meter in UwOfy's account here. Can afford to... Ooh, it's a little bit too short. And especially that 6 heavy from Potemkin. It kind of moves Potemkin, or like it preserves your hurt box, takes your hurt box really backwards, so it's kind of hard to like poke into unless you are really close to Potemkin already. Megavish completely whiffs. It's maybe even better than on block. Slityn whiffs as well. UwOfy would love to get out of the corner. Sets up a beach ball and to the other side. Nice, that's gonna be a punish. Another beach ball into close slash pressure. You already know it. Finds the 5 heavy hit, but hard to hit confirm. Here's the burst from Blue. We're fighting tooth and nail for this round, able to keep Potemkin cornered. one of the more important things in this matchup. Like, even though Potemkin is very dangerous with that fast command grab and his armors, he is still conceptually a character that does not have a true reversal out of anybody's pressure. So once you get him there, it's gonna be nice. But this time it's Lu holding the opponent in the corner. My time to take the point here, says Lu, going up 2-1. Very early in this set number 2 on Bounty Hunters tonight. Starting with the 6 heavy and starting guns blazing with the other armor move. So you do have two here. Two armor moves that are commonly used. On the ground you have, of course, your that move, and breaks it in like at the perfect timing there. The Hammerfall is usually your go-to, less risky kind of armor move to power through stuff, especially when you have 50 meter available. But you can also use the air version, the heat tackle. Oh, takes the burst here. A little bit of a scramble there, misses the punish. Tries to go for the buster, however, UwOfy in the right, Yomi layer, reversals out of the corner. Jump out of the Garuda pressure, but tries to re-engage. The Garuda has already recovered in time, and Lu ready with the anti-air. One way you can look at this is like May's usually very aerial kind of a character, loves to blaze around the skies, but Potemkin has a lot of good anti-air options. Not just your 6B, but also like a super big, far, hard-hitting, fast 5B to match. Oh, there it is again! Collides with the armor, produces the RC shockwave, and completely beats Lu's advancement option. Now we're looping it, finding an overhead, and another overhead. Lu does block that successfully. Is that killer whale? It is gonna connect and is gonna deal enough damage as well. Good jump there. Ooh, so with the aerial armor move, the heat tackle, the thing is, if you do manage to connect on the opponent while they are airborne, the universal mechanics of Guilty Gear Strive dictate that you are going to be extremely minus on landing if you block something in the air. So even though usually punishable for Potemkin, it ends up being plus on the landing if you do manage to attack the opponent airborne. Now, once again, UwOfy with a pixel and a dream. A dream it shall be this time around. Lu is able to build a couple of games of buffer here and runs away with the lead for now. But the question is, how long is that gonna last? Starting with the 6 heavy again. I see this from a couple of different Potemkin players quite a bit. It's like, especially if your opponent tries to walk back and then swing on round start, going straight up to that like extreme. Oh, big 5-heavy counter hit. Even though the combo was dropped, single instances of damages like that. Like May 5 heavy, still decent amount of damage, even if you drop your combo after like 2 or 3 hits. But now we probably need a slightly bit more than just one hit here. Good timing on the 6B. Lu testing UwOfy. Can he poke through this? Indeed, he is capable. Continuing pressure, has another 50 meter ready to go. Counters it, or rather utilizes it. With the 6 heavy again, but the cancel a little bit too late. The 6 heavy, even though it reaches really far and has like okay hitbox, hurtbox sort of distribution, it is still extremely dangerous, especially when whiffed. And of course on block has to be cancelled into something, so you're generating more RPS. Of course, if you're playing a character like Potemkin, you're probably no stranger to RPS. You characters like this are often a roll of the dice, but an educated roll of the dice at that. Now Lu doesn't manage to get the RC out in time, like we discussed. If the opponent breaks your armor with that RC, oh, this time it's a wait. This time it was a was that a PRC? Blink and I miss it. Oh, a little bit of a miss input here, or A late cancel on that heat tackle, allowing UwOfy to get the corner. With that increased throw range, goes for a normal throw. Definitely a tool still usable, even if you do have your big 5-frame command grab. The normal throw is still 2 frames, and it has fairly decent throw range. Only available to characters like Potemkin and Nagoriyuki. There we go, finding a hit into... Was this a safe jump? Indeed it was. Can we get a punish? Can we get a buster? Yes, indeed. And now Lu, with a lot of resources to spend, catches... Oh, the timing didn't quite align, but that was exactly the right idea. You see the backdash and you try to counter it during your time stop of the RC. Lu. Powerful stuff here. Build meter and then spent meter. Like in many matchups though, it's a little hard for a Potemkin to safely build the meter that you would like if you're playing against like keep away characters such as like, let's say, Axel, Testament, Sin. Those kind of characters don't really let you like walk back and forth and let you build meter for free, of course. But when you're fighting a more close range oriented rushdown type of character, you get more opportunities to maybe take it a bit more chill and just maybe walk back, walk forward. You don't necessarily even need to press buttons. Potemkin actually builds quite a lot of meter simply by walking. Or should we put it like this? Because Potemkin walks forward so slow, he actually gets to walk more before he gets to a critical point. And I forgot if Potemkin does actually have a a better modifier for meter building while walking forward. But even if not, it's a decent advantage for, you know, being able to sort of commit to the walk a little bit longer than many other characters. Like if you walk forward with a fast character, you're gonna meet the opponent really soon, so you can't necessarily utilize that sort of meter build for walking forward as much as a character like Potemkin. Ooh, nice escape there from the Garuda. However, once again, Lu is ready with the anti-air. Intercepting from the air. Uh-oh, it's a guard crush. One of the most nasty situations, the close slash, the +4 close slash that we were talking about. It's really hard to jump out of that. There's like what? Three frames of gap for Potemkin. That's not good enough to even get your like jump out successfully if Potemkin chains like close slashes together. 100 meter in the tank, and more importantly, UwOfy still doesn't have their 50. Tries to go for the close slash, tries to go for the heavenly Potemkin buster as well. Finally finding the target, coming down from the skies. It's a very interesting situation there. Even if you miss with the heavenly Potemkin buster, a little bit of a whiff punish here, by the way, with the Dolphins. Nice anti-air as well. Oh, but the extended throw range. Gotta have your timings and especially your spacing correct if you engage on this beastly mass of muscles. Immediate burst there, wanting to keep UwOfy in the corner, but doesn't manage to this time. Oh, that's minus though, and here we go with a loose pressure. Slow down the time, pull them back. Oh, wait, that must have been a buster input. I think you usually don't go for a mega fist there. 5B, Abareng out of the corner, works as an anti-air as well. All purpose. If the opponent is close, I press. If the opponent is airborne, I press as well. But here comes a 5 heavy counter hit. No conversion though, that could have potentially been a kill. But those conversions for Mei are slightly different than like many other characters that you might be comfortable and more familiar working with. Let's get the punish. Here we go, this time with a Wild Assault. I kind of like that. Not only does that Wild Assault bring you straight into the corner and potentially get you the wall, but it does lock the opponent away from the immediate burst. As we know, Wild Assaults do consume a little bit of your opponent's burst gauge, which is their combo break resource in this game. I mean, it's way more than that, especially since the advent of Wild Assault, which has been pretty much the core mechanic of Guilty Gear Strive's identity ever since it got introduced in Season 3. Yeah, imagine Guild Gear Stripe without Wild Assault now. I mean, it's been toned down a little bit, especially with the new late Season 4 changes. Here we go with the pressure, able to break the throw. Nice, catches the little moment while Lu was going for the Hammerfall break. Safe jump is good again. Again, Mega Fist is definitely a Potemkin buster missing, but a very classic one as well. Oh, the backdash ends up avoiding the armor move. We go again, especially since we have that 50 meter, more than 50 meter, in fact, almost 100 meter in the tank. UwOfy gets there first. That's a really important kill. Dealing with a Potemkin that has that much meter available to be spent, you don't want to deal with any of that. In fact, you would much rather, if you ever find yourself against a Potemkin who has a lot of resources to spend, the best position to maybe sort of counterintuitively to be is probably in, you know, Potemkin's face, so that you can keep up your pressure. Maybe try to bait them into using it for Wild Assault. Sorry, not Wild Assault, YRC, which is actually like one of Potemkin's only like super strong defensive mechanics nowadays. Ooh, sliding under here. Taking the cross up. Oh, and the split. Ooh, this time the Hammerfall actually misses. It's a very interesting tool, the up dolphin, because it kind of plummets you forward a little after the initial connection. Now, would Lu use a burst here? There is 50 meter to be had. This is also acceptable, just taking the combo, especially since the opponent didn't have 50 meter to seal the deal yet. However, good trajectory once again by UwOfy. Avoiding the armor move, approaching from the skies so that it completely ends up whiffing. Not this time though. Big commitment move. It does get you a hard knockdown if you can manage to land with it. But if it is blocked, it is usually at least minus enough for pretty much anybody in the cast to get a 2K2D for a standard knockdown. What? Are you kidding me? Wait, I thought UwOfy was still hopping on a dolphin, but got crapped out of it. That must have been like just before landing. And there is that ancient mechanic that I think still works in Guild Gear Stripe, where you can actually throw the last airborne frame from the opponent. So could it be in one of those cases there? A super important round here for both players. If Lu gets this, he's gonna go to +6 or rather 6 points here, while UwOfy absolutely needs this in order to keep up with the score of Lu here. 2K, not recovering time, powering through with that Hammerfall. And the corner pressure, especially, oh, there we go! The presence of mind, the reaction, looking for it, buffering for it, and now getting the reward for it, which is the round and the game, the big game that we were talking about. Lu is running away with so much momentum. It'll be a huge hill to climb here for UwOfy if he wants to bring it back. It is, like, theoretically, it's just, what? It's just 5 points. But we're talking about a Potemkin here. One false move, one mistake you make, and you know, you lose half of your life in a big volatile game like Stride. Nice. The neutral jump ends up working out, but not on the second go. Burst, let me out of here. Goes for a preemptive read here. Nice, look at that spacing. Standing at a perfect place where Lu coming down with a button completely whiffs, and RPS here. Nice backdash. Setting up the beach ball, overhead. Those overheads have been reacted to very nicely by Lu. Walking almost every single one of them, I want to say, this set. But the pressure is definitely not over. And UwOfy, maybe last March of the May, 2K2D, set it up, go other side. couple of different things that you can do here. I think UwOfy has been mainly going for that that beach ball setup there afterwards for the plus frames. But you can do stuff with split as well. Uh-oh, guard crush into, yep, minus frames. And here we go with the big, I think I'm not sure if the combo dropped there somewhere in between. No RC this time around, gotta be really careful. 100-meter Potemkin coming through. Here comes the RC explosion. And again, Lu, not quite in time to use RC of their own. Back throw into, oh, is that gonna be enough? From a prorated starter, shot just throw. I'm not sure what's gonna happen here. It could be a kill, although not on May. One more pixel to shave through, and UwOfy with the 100. Can we get a, not even going for the air throw, just a close slash, but ends up in the corner. Deflect shield, have to go for it. That would have crushed you in terms of chip damage. But look at that, the footsies button, 2S. I think we haven't seen that button too much from Lu so far, but coming in clutch at the most crucial moments. Nice, finds a big heavy counter hit once again. To the other side, that's gonna be another punish as well. But the problem here is even if you do get those small punishes, they barely tickle Potemkin, who has basically the highest EHP in the game. And is that gonna be enough? Heavenly Potemkin Buster, no matter how prorated that is, that should seal the deal here for Lu. Right? Right? Absolutely. Never doubt it for a moment, especially after that last throw combo that Lu used. 7-2. Taking out the first timer here, Lu, very strong performance on Potemkin. But UwOfy also with a lot of extremely crucial versus Potemkin matchup things unlocked. Especially those RC touches on the armor. I actually wish I had that in my muscle memory as well, as consistently as UwOfy did. And then double new player here. Both players making their debuts. Mino Bridget versus Brenda Abba. Let's see, what was Brenda's name on Discord side? Let me check. Oh yeah. Should be queued up for the next best thing, the next big thing. Like we talked about earlier, it's gonna be that pixie character on the good control and good Oki in the form of Bridget against an offensive powerhouse. But with a twist, Abba does have to activate the Jealous Rage mode in order to sort of be super competent at rushing down. You do have like decent pressure as your normal mode, Abba. You have moves that sort of ever so slowly inch you forward, which helps you sort of maintain the close range. You have tools like the key crab, which is basically a plus frame printer, which you usually have to perform with a kara input so that you don't miss. But the point is, you do have to work pretty hard to get in on the opponent in sort of normal ABBA mode, which usually you wouldn't engage in such a foolish endeavor, but sometimes you don't have a choice because you can't do this. Oh, but that was a big interception from Mino. Catching ABBA while she is in the install can allow you to sort of waste, like, stall for enough time so that when the ABBA player runs out of the jealousy gauge, and once you are completely out, you can no longer install. You need at least 1/4 of your jealousy bar. There's actually a little bit of a modifier, or not a modifier, like a signifier there in the jealous rage gauge of ABBA. Of ABBA's tension gauge, if you can see. You have to be over that 1/4 of the threshold in order to be able to use your jealous rage install. But again, getting tagged by Mino. At least we go back to neutral here. Yeah, I would do this as well. Spend all of the resources that you can in order to make ABBA pop. And once ABBA pops, like this, even if you, yeah. Those are very late active frames with a close slash. In this situation, it's so bleak. Let me tell you that much. When I played of ABBA myself, it's like the worst kind of situation when you go into install, the opponent intercepts you, you pop, and then you just can't get enough jealous rage gauge in order to like get anything done. Especially against a character like this who can hold you at like a half screen distance pretty easily. YRC here. The thing is, like, the more you engage with the opponent before you go for your first install, like, the better base you have for the rest of the round. Because the jelly economy is really interesting. Now we are at the full 10 seconds install. It's mainly because, like, when you uninstall, when you go out of mode manually, you do retain like half of the jealous rage that you spent. Ooh, that was great! You hardly ever see that command grab being used while in jealous range mode. I think because ABBA is already so fast, but it's turbo fast when you actually use it during the install. Alright, command grab, that's so much reach here. Not necessarily like a very fast command grab, but it can catch you off guard if you're not specifically looking for it. Time to go for a parry there. So the parry from ABBA is basically farming for jealous gauge or jealousy gauge whenever possible. So like if you get one good parry at the start of the round, that can already put you at a very nice jelly balance, which, oh no, too far! Coded to be too far, can't reach with that YRC. Even if it kind of looks like it would hit, it's basically distance based. If you're too far, it just can't never reach the opponent. Nice 6B, leading into more pressure. But even if you land those like random hits on the normal mode ABBA, you're not necessarily in still. Your primary objective always at the start of the round is to get into that install mode, get into that jealous rage. And now, nice blocks here on all of the mix-ups. Plus frame from the key grab. If that key grab hits, that is another tool to put you into the jealousy mode. Now the install is on. Let's see what we can do. The same kind of goes for ABBA, like as we mentioned on the ABBA's opponent side. You kind of want to spend all of the resources you can in order to stall for a time, but for ABBA, you would probably use all of your attention as well. If the opponent starts a pressure string on you, just use a YRC, spend burst, like do anything that you can to gain back that offensive momentum. But unfortunately, after the pop, we'll not be able to get it here. Mino with a 2 in a row. Picking up a nice button there on the round start. 2S. Beating the option from Brenda. Here comes Danzai. Wait, look at the manual install there. That's great. After the Danzai had like just a couple of frames of jealousy left, which was able to get a far slash and then manual uninstall. Even if you are technically popping already, as long as you are in a pressure string, you can still cancel into the uninstall option, which of course your opponent can punish if they know it's coming, I think. Or is it still safe? I'm not actually sure. Have played this character myself and not sure about all the frame data related to your mode switches. Once again, getting caught, but it's an, oh nice, got the parry there. And even though Brenda did get caught in the follow-up situation, now look at how much jelly Brenda has to work with. Your life is completely cosmetic here. What matters is if you are in your mode and how many seconds you have left. And a solid 8 seconds here. Can we make something with it? To the other side. Spacing, oh, but colliding with Kickstart My Heart. One of the fastest neutral skips in the game, especially when combined with 50 tension. Here we go again. Can lead into a mix-up like this. But again, more importantly, even if you do get the kill here on Mino's side from the kickstart mix-up, was probably the primary thing in Mino's mind was probably trying to stall for time there as much as possible. That is just how much ABBA revolves around that mode switch. Ooh, here we go with the overhead. Immediate burst from Mino. Ooh, nice sliding under with another command dash. Got the uninstall here. Blast frames. Yeah, tried to press a button here, but even if it kind of looks like the key grab should be your turn, it definitely is not. As long as that move connects on block, ABBA is pretty good to go for more pressure, or at least very advantageous RPS here. Ooh, it goes for the chip kill. Rekka 1, Rekka 2. We go, activation again, solid 9 seconds. Downside does knock down immediately if the opponent is airborne. Finding a low here. Can we get a juggle? No, setting up a close slash. Into a mix-up. Very common way for ABBA to go for an OTG close slash if you ever get like a small knockdown and then set up your like left, rights, high lows, F shikis, whatever you want to do. The world is your playground here, as long as you have time on your mode. But now here we go, Mino's pressure. Pretty much ready to break the wall as well. Spending it on the 5D tap, 20 frame overhead. The downside here is that you cannot break with a hard knockdown, but maybe it doesn't matter since Brenda has absolutely no Jealous Rage left. And even though you managed to go under with that ABBA 6P there, it's just a little bit too far to do anything. Ooh, hold on though! Finding a 2K2D into Danzai, trying to chip. Mino smartly holding onto that FD button. The green glint around, or the green glow around your character, whenever you use that while blocking, it completely negates the chip damage received, and that would have probably been enough chip damage on Brenda's side to get the round if Mino was not, you know, if her head was not in the game and was not holding FD. Out through the wall we go. Should be, no, can't recover from that backdash. Backdash, such a double-edged tool. In normal mode, one of the worst backdashes in the game, but while Jealous Rage is active, one of the, if not the best, I think it's just straight up the best backdash at that point. Sort of breaks the frame data rules of many backdashes and just, it's just so fast on recovery. But I mean, it should be good. It absolutely should be good. If you have to defend in Jealous Rage, if you do have to backdash, then it better be good, because like you don't have any time to waste. So with the jump in here, ooh, the jump slash actually being multi-hit. I think Brenda did block the first one, but not the second one. Nice, got a parry here. It could have given Brenda the opportunity to go for an install should they get out of the block string here. Whipping a 5 heavy here. That's a dangerous button, like many of its kind. Reaches far, very slow on startup and very slow on recovery as well. Here we go, finding a big counter hit. Only a moment's notice. Look at how fast you dash forward. You can close the distance really fast. Can we get an uninstall? Yes, indeed. That's so perfect. Install straight away into Keeper of the Key. There's nothing you can do here if you use that super while you have Jelly active. It's literally GG asshole block this mix-up kind of a situation. Started with a parry once again. Oh, and another one. 100 Jelly. Oh, and an encore. 3 in a row. You didn't even have to go for that, but might as well. I mean, sometimes you might use that tool as just a way to go through things as well when it's not your turn yet, I suppose. Especially against like super far range characters. Looking good so far, breaking the wall. Can use Keeper of the Key here if they want. Ooh, just command dash into a good anti-air. The 2S from Abba is really cool button since it doesn't care about the sort of the direction of the opponent. As long as you input 2S, it's gonna send like a big tall hitbox to the skies. YRC into the corner. Ooh, there we go. Was able to sneak an install in there as well. But now, yeah, use that burst. Put the opponent back into... Oh, that's gonna be... Wait, is that plus? Is that minus? I'm not sure. That was so high up in the sky. I understand the sort of the desperation, the what you would call it, the... Like, the futility of all of it when you're blocking install Abba's pressure. Like, you gotta get out of there immediately. So, like, your fingers might already be on that RC button to get the guard cancel out. Skips into the guard of Brenda here. Time is tick-tock ticking. We got an instant air dash. Look at that. Dance straight out, and we could install. Yep, install instantly the keeper of the key as well. We've seen. I really like this sequence from Brenda. So combo into key grab out of the mode, then instantly frame one, go back into the mode, and then unleash the keeper of the key. If your opponent is far away, I don't think they can do much about it either. Burst here at a life disadvantage. It's definitely doable. Although now problem here is that one keeper of the key could kill Minnow even on full screen situation. Normally in the normal mode Abba, you don't want to use keeper of the key super too much because like you can. It's not quite as good as in install mode. But if all you're looking for is damage, oh, but that should be enough RC and everything. Yeah, Brenda smartly holding on to that burst. That would have potentially given you an opportunity to run it back still, but with that low amount of health and fighting against Bridget, no thank you. Ooh, with the hop kick. And finding a counter hit afterwards. Here we go. Almost full jelly bar pressure, ready to go. The 6 heavy actually misses here. Minnow holding FD to dear life. Able to connect, able to refresh, and now that was definitely a miss input on the reversal super here, which does put you into the mode as well. This one, boom! Yeah, that was kind of what Brenda was looking for on the wall, but I think just got an unfortunate miss input there on the break. It's all good. Looking like Brenda's slowly starting to get more consistent. Activation again and using that fast 2K instead of your slower buttons. There are a couple, like when you're engaging with that Jealous Rage mode, there are a couple of different options you could play. You could definitely play the Whiff Punish game because you are the fastest entity in the whole game. But you could use just the sheer reach of your buttons. 6P can't go under there. So now in a really tough situation, could we ever make this comeback? In the corner, last round, no jelly, no gauge, no nothing. I think that's probably, against the Zoner character, that's probably one of the most desperate situations that you could ever be put in Guilty Gear Strive, to be perfectly honest. And if you haven't figured it out so far from all of these explanations, yes, Abba is extremely, like, not controversial. What's the word I'm looking for? Like, very hot and cold kind of a character. When she has it going, she's like absolutely the best character in the game. No questions asked. But when she's out of her unique resource and just getting zoned, yeah, it's I don't think there's like anything like it. If you haven't experienced it, if you haven't played Abba yourself, you don't know what it feels like. But the high highs and the low lows, like especially when you experience the low lows, you can appreciate the high of just being the absolute destroyer class entity. A starship just blazing through and just giving the opponent almost no counterplay options other than maybe press YRC or burst. Or run away for dear life and hope that you can't make the connection with like your full screen massive hitbox normals. Again, the life is running kind of low here on up. Oh, and the safe jump as well. And takes the burst as well, kind of. Honestly, Brenda, they didn't have a lot of good options here. It was just all Minnow pressure there throughout the whole game. And was running out of life as well. It's like the sequencing kind of has to be like that as well. If you have 50 tension and burst ready to go, if you screw up the burst first, then you're not gonna have an opportunity to use the tension. So of course you use the YRC first. If it doesn't work out, then you can go for the burst. But I mean, your opponent can read that as well if they kind of have a good feeling of how a game of Guilty Gear flows. Super should be good here. Loop-the-loop. Yeah, should be kind of optimal hit zone as well for the little Roger to land his hit as well there during that super. Ooh, that was a great timing on the on the button on Bridget's side. Nice parry. We're up to 75, and this should take us all the way up to 100. 10 seconds of unadulterated pressure time, unless we still have a chance here. Downside. Yeah, the absolute go screw yourself button. If the opponent presses anything, that's just fully invulnerable. Or is it? Wait, it's not exactly invulnerability. It's like it's not armor either. Is it hyper armor or is it a guard point? I think it's hyper armor, right? So yeah, it's like if you do wanna be absolutely sure that your opponent cannot poke into you, Danzai is the key. The key. Oh, pun unintended, but extremely appreciated. Very low on everything here once again. Does have the 50 tension, but what can Brenda do with it? Absolutely nothing. Even the tension is like secondary for ABBA. If you're low on jealousy, it feels so bad. And Mino absolutely running the game plan perfectly. It's kind of cool. I want to say I've played a couple of these keep away characters myself against like beasts such as Abba or Nagoriyuki, who can run out of their resources, after which you could potentially control them for the rest of the round. It's like your game plan is so set. The one thing that you want to do is you want to make them pop, and then it's party time, but probably not before that. There's always the threat, always the gnawing uncertainty at the back of your mind. When is the Beyblade gonna come out? When is the install gonna come out and take me? But yeah, good stuff here. Mino grabbing her first win here on Bounty Hunters. Moving on to the next one. So is this our... I'm trying to think. Is this our top seed of the evening? I mean, this is pretty hot, of course. But coming up after this is also Thunder Kitty versus Leif. So between those games, unsure like which one is the more high-profile one. But this is gonna be another Venom game moving forward, and that's really cool. And Badoor also is like one of the Venom believers. Has pretty much, I think, always played Venom in older Guilty Gear games as well. So makes sense that would play Venom in this game as well, and fully committed. As far as I can remember, Badoor's style is more of a keep away, which does sort of make sense, kind of synergizes well how he likes to run the Venom and Guilty Gear Strive. Synergizes with this matchup. This is, I think, even though these are two different characters compared to the previous matchup, Abba versus Bridget, I think this is the same storyline here. You wanna make Nagoriyuki go high on blood, and then it's extremely hard for Nago to ever contest like your set play options, your keep away options, and you kind of get to choose like how the game is played after that. But of course, the twist, the caveat is that Nagoriyuki is probably one of the most explosive characters in the game right at the round start. That's right. Even though you have zero tension in a game of Guilty Gear, Nagoriyuki starts with full bar, or I guess, depending on how you look at it, an empty bar of blood, which means you get to utilize that unique resource for stuff that is almost like equivalent to meter burn in a way. Like the special moves that Nago has are extremely powerful and hard to challenge. So you could argue that, yeah, at the start, it's always the most dangerous position to be at against Nagoriyuki. And you can kind of just, like, especially if you're a far range character or a control character, you're just kind of trying to survive long enough so that the blood level goes to like level 3, preferably. And high-end level 3 as well, so that tools such as like Clone Fukyo and especially Beyblade are sealed. Like, of course, you can always try to use those moves, but unless you get a bite or unless you get a kill, you're soon gonna go bust. It's like, what, is it like 1.5 seconds or something that it takes for the blood build up to increase your gauge? Something like that. Anyway, let's go. So Badoor here, oh! A variation of the classic back Fukyo into Beyblade kind of a round start. Goes for a forward Fukyo instead and catches Badoor there. Oh, but a big back throw here into the corner. And corner is a really nice position for Venom, especially for this move that you're gonna be seeing a lot. Ooh, not this one, but this one is really good as well. Especially with the 5 heavy that we were talking about in the previous Venom matchup, the normal that can vacuum them in puts them in a perfect place for a thick throw mix-up. Oh, here's the pop that we were talking about, and that you always want to punish with a TOD combo if possible. Because like, if Nago gets to play after the plot pop, if your combo doesn't kill, that's a problem, because Nago gets another fresh blood bar. Speaking of fresh blood bars, you also get it from this move, the blood-sucking universe that Exulans was able to land there. Ooh, very patient here on their own offense, waiting for probably the burst here, which has been used by Badoor. Finding a low 2K2 to 6 heavy into -2, but those -2 from those 6 heavy even on block is a very interesting and usually Nago favorite RPS, when I say so myself, especially in a matchup like this where your opponent just can't deal a lot of damage out of their pokes. Yeah, Stinger is gonna be a very important tool, limiting the horizontal movement on the ground. In fact, I think Stinger might actually be one of the few moves in the game that can limit the mobility and the reach of Beyblade from Nagoriyuki. It was a very... I kind of lagged there for a moment, but that was a very Exert kind of a thing here. Stinger YRC in the older game, of course Stinger PRC in this game. You don't see Fireball PRCs that much here, probably because like you don't have the special option to spend only 25 meter for an RC, which was possible in the past. Now, of course, all RCs. Oh, speaking of the devil here, the Beyblade in the DP spends a lot of blood, and now we are stuck, at least for a while, in that level 3 state. And these Stingers, yeah, you can already see. Only thing you can kind of do is super jump forward. But if you do, you are kind of locked into that trajectory and potentially putting yourself in a harm's way for an anti-air. Look at this control though, but Badoor standing at a perfect distance. That 5 heavy is massive reach for Nago in level 3. But of course, it's not full screen. It can be spaced out. Oh, nice chase here. Popping in the sky with the RC. What kind of combo are we cooking? Are we going with the wall stick? No, we're actually resetting. I like this. Although it's a little bit short for a kill. 1 bar of blood available. That's the gamble of the Wild Assault. Trying to find their way in. Here we are. Is that going to be a pop? Yeah, the blood drain from the slashes does not offset the blood increase. Or rather, it's like twice as slow for accounting the blood that is coming back compared to the blood that is... Or wait, which way? The blood that is increasing compared to the blood that is decreasing. That's a lot of words that are very complicated. Ooh, perfect read here on the deflect shield. Goes for the throw option. RC the reset the pressure. We are gonna get a wall break here. One Beyblade could be what brings it. Wait, huh? From what move did... Was that a... That was a wild assault, right? Into the ending gambit? Yes, indeed. That super does deal a little bit of extra damage compared to, or depending on how many balls you have on the field. And especially when combined with RC, you can, and because of the super sort of lasts for a very long time, as does like Dark Angel as well. But you can create some interesting like checkmate situations with 100. If you manage to get enough balls on the screen before the sort of the super resolves perfectly. Stinger once again, setting a couple of balls in motion, tries to, I like the idea, trying to go through them with the White Wild Assault, which is a completely invulnerable approaching tool. But unfortunately, it has the downside of having very limited range, and of course being very minus on block. There we go, Stinger once again preventing the Fukio forward, which is technically Nago's dashing option. Uses blood though. A nice combo here. Let's see the set play into an overhead. Wait, oh, Nago was too far there? Curse. I think I heard the start of a Wild Assault, although I think the burst was not consumed there for Exulans. Alright, with the power slash sequence, lets Badoor off the wall, landing straight into a punish, but no blood being burned that day. This throw could be, yep, is gonna be enough. So Badoor staying in, oh, I love that. The micro dash 2P. Probably one of the fastest round start options with a relatively decent amount of reach. And most importantly, if the Nagoriyuki player goes for a very dangerous option like a back Fukio into Beyblade, I think you can still recover out of it. Here we go with the launch. Decent amount of damage for these combos as we are in blood level 3 for Nagoriyuki. Now what? Mix up time, the barely delayed air fireball, air stinger. Baiting Exulans into pressing a button there. Would have trade. Gotta be careful trading in the Nagoriyuki though. The 2K tick into blood-sucking universe. Here we go, party time for a while. The second fight is red though. You could, in a way, consider Nagoriyuki like semi-pseudo, like grappler characters. Or what I mean by that is you usually want to defend with a fuzzy jump, and you're probably gonna see Badoor jumping out of this pressure quite a lot. Goes for a lot. Blood-sucking universe a little too early, but fixes their mistake there with the PRC and goes for a throw. Here we go again. Not the first time we've seen that dance. Stomp them down with the 5K. However, Badoor finding a way out, setting up a couple of balls. Ooh, look at that! The far range of the too heavy. The anti-air of the gods. If you know your opponent is gonna be on that air trajectory. Gold burst out of the corner. Ooh, there we go. Finally, we see the big blood burn. Clone Fukio passing, sort of facing through all of the balls. In fact, taking care of all the balls in the way there. Like on the way there. So RC guarantee the pressure. Trying to make Badoor press a button here. Very close to popping. Badoor is kind of out of resources and thrown back to the corner. Oh, that's a great hit. That should be it. Whew, that was a sweat-inducing match there. Back and forth in that left corner, sending the clone Fuki. Oh, that was the wait. That was a clone Beyblade. Or was that a clone Fukio Beyblade? Nevertheless, that burned so much blood, as you can see here, going for the pop. Oh, baby. And then, fresh blood bar, baby. Samurai mix could be a thing here. In fact, it's only a thing when your opponent is like 0 life, close to getting killed. And Exulans getting back into the game, or I mean, I guess you never were out of the game, especially this early into the set. FT7 is an interesting formula, after all, interesting way of playing the game, because you do have a lot of time to sort of adjust to what your opponent is doing. And if you're one of those players who just kind of gets started really slow and you like just feel like you don't have enough time in a tournament FT3 set, then FT7 might be the format for you. With punish, not quite, but does manage to get their turn. Most important thing, after Nago heavy buttons, even if you can't get a true whiff punish, at least try to take your turn if you can, if you're a standard character. Although with a character like Venom, maybe you don't even need to take your turn. Maybe you just want to hang out here. Here comes Dark Angel, and then evil frames of the Wild Assault are gonna run out, and then the grim reality rubbing you in the face. I am inside a hitbox. Help! I am inside the opponent's balls. What do? By setting up a little set. Oh, that's interesting. Setting up a ball behind them and then still going for the command grab. Was that kind of like a setup for what was gonna come after the command grab, maybe? Alright. Good timing on the burst. Makes Badoor lose the Wild Assault value here into Blood-Sucking Universe. Alright, here we go. All of that juice coming back. And now finding the DP hit. That's gonna be decent amount of damage. But looking for one more. Is that the one more? 6 heavy. Yes, indeed. 6 heavy. I was like, maybe the super doesn't work here. But I think Exulans already had figured that out and just uses the RC after 6 heavy instead, just to get an extra 6 heavy in there, because that button does so much damage when your blood is high. The plus frames of Carcass Raid, yeah, no way out of that one, hoes. Once again, / RC. Badoor deems there's enough games, now we're playing pool. Starting to run out of the real estate here. On keep away characters like this, it's always really important that you have ooh, ouch! It's always so important that you have a little bit of real estate to retreat to, because like the opponents are gonna be running at you, and you often have to give a little bit away as you're inching backwards. But when you meet the corner, when you get your back against the corner, you no longer have that nice little buffer cushion there. Speaking of, Stinger does get a little bit of real estate. Perfect spacing here. Misses the true punish, but it's okay for now. Exulans, though. In this, ooh, that was a lot of blood spent. Is that gonna be a pop? Yes, indeed. That was, I think that was not 1, not 2. That might have been actually 3 Fukios, and that is a full bar of blood, if I remember correctly. If I do have my math straight. All right, zero life, but we do have blood. Ooh, look at the hitbox at that ball. Even though it kind of looked like Exulans was sliding past Badoor, the air stinger there still holding down the fort and preventing the big body from being able to pass through. These are the big combo. We're gonna use the super here. So another super that has a utility function in which you draw a lot of blood back over time after you finish your super sequence. Nice frame kill here. That's an expensive frame kill, actually. Whipping a Beyblade and then going for the Blood-Sucking Universe on the wake up. Clone Fukio, the classic. Yep, Badoor realizes that's a lot of blood burn. Almost enough to pop. But now, if we can take Nago to full screen, just like this, yeah, the Wild Assault also outplayed as well. Now, it's gonna be, I think, smooth sailing from here on out. Unless, never mind! This is Guilty Gear Strive, // and especially the last / hit of that sequence, bringing back decent amount of blood for Exulans to have some place here. Until Badoor found the hit. Right, 2 games of buffer here, once again for the pool queue hero. momentum can flip on its head so fast when Nagoriyuki is on screen. There we go. Again, it's not the classic still. Back Fukyo into clone this time. Makes sense. Like clone is the premium tool for trying to counterplay all of the incoming projectiles from the Venom player. It is a really expensive option though. Or wait, does it even delete the balls? I think it deletes it at least. Oh, does Badoor know? Badoor knows. We know that a TOD is coming. A combo video sequence is coming after that plop pop. Ooh, that's a lot of blood spent. Tried to go for a Botsaki. Oh my god, is that math? Is that the power of math? Perfectly sequencing, was literally like one blood away from popping. Tried to infuse that super jump with the blue RC in order to make their way in. Yeah, this kind of gameplay is available once you can't move anymore. Nagoriyuki, one of the most immobile characters in the game, unless you have access to your special moves. Literal move with your special moves kind of a character. Kind of cannot do anything once you're getting zoned from half screen away. When you can't even use that Fukyo anymore. Like we discussed earlier, it's the super jump kind of a world that you are left with. You don't have any move speed, you don't have any walk speed, can't really do that. One stinger will push you back to full screen. It's kind of like waiting for the blood to recover, which is really not feasible. It comes back so slow. You kind of have to interact with your opponent to be able to draw back blood back or make your blood pressure go down. Down it goes here, especially when you connect the... Ooh, nice air throw! With old Guilty Gear fundamentals, here comes Badoor. Has the meter, set up a ball so that this super just does a little bit more extra damage. Even one ball is a damage increase. Ooh, interesting. So getting the Triambaka command grab here, creating a ball, and then going for the reversal super again. Oh, that's unfortunate. The backdash getting caught by the blood pop, putting Exulans in a great position here in a lot of different ways. I love that the jump D, the classic to stall your air momentum. Very vulnerable if your opponent knows what you're doing. Wait, huh? Wait, did the command grab just connect? Why didn't Exulans get turned into a ball? What am I missing here? that was the command grab, wasn't it? I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy, chat, am I? Maybe that was something else. Anyway, the fact of the matter here is that Badoor is on 6 points. And you can do the math. What 6 point means in a FT7 match. Here comes the pressure again. Good mash. Yeah, Fukyo forward. Never really a safe option, especially from that range. Able to find a 2S here. Ooh, that's a big 6 heavy. And the heavies keep piling up. Burst was well, it's definitely not over. Exulans does have blood to work with. But here come the mix-ups. Badoor is in the corner. The cross off the perfectly staged escape from the corner with an added mix-up. Ooh, nice timing of the goal burst. A lot of Fukyos, a lot of momentum. Is that it? That's actually gonna be it. Never give up. Blood pop, don't miss it. 5B? Yeah. I was about to say, there probably is a timing where you can connect Glow Slash here or like 5K. But it's when you get the seal, when you get the deal sealed with a 5B, probably a safer option to stick them with a 5B there. Because if you miss with that during that pop, you're potentially in a really bad situation. Ooh, nice! Shades of the ult! Back Fukyo burst baits! Here comes the next one. Oh, huh? Oh, it must have been too late here. So, Badoor was able to tech before the blood pop went off. Anyway, either way, Exulans with a little bit of a what we call in the industry a happy little accident, able to still salvage the situation with all that blood that comes from the blood pop. Ooh, uh-oh. No! Oh, wait, never mind. Disjoint. Badoor, all calculated, poked into the blood pop and didn't get punished for it. That's such a rare thing. It's like usually what happens is that you poke into it and the blood pop hitbox just gets you and you're like, ah, shucks. I had the kill there, but I didn't look at the opponent's blood meter. Happens to the best of us though. Nicely placed anti-air there with the 2 heavy. Now can we keep the prey in the corner? Approaching. From that health screen away, it's a little bit more dangerous to try to mash against the forward Fukyo, because there are options such as like immediate DP cancel, which is a little hard to intercept if there's space between you. Carcass Raid plus frames, 5 heavy backing them in. You know the deal. Or maybe you don't, because you never played against Venom, because they're so rare. Oh, good check again. Opponent is airborne though, so that 2K2D didn't quite work out. Big corner carrying coming from the Dark Angel. Blast from the past, can we get the wall? Yes indeed, we are forcing the wall by using the Wild Assault. Really nice option here for Badoor, because it was gonna be over anyway. Might as well spend everything. Yeah, I think it definitely played out as I was expecting. Badoor's playstyle really sort of complementing the game plan here. The game plan that we were talking about before. How to control a character that is a resource management character, but a character that runs out of options once the resource is spent. Or, in Nagoriyuki's case, once the resource is too high. Really good stuff there from Exulans though, for fighting against who is definitely one of the better Venom players in the EMEA community. I mean, there aren't many, but it's definitely hard to find a Venom player better than Badoor on your sort of your day-to-day exploits. All right, next is the match that could very well be top seed of the week. Thunder Kitty Leif. It's an interesting thing, because like, just like a year or so before, I would probably never bet money on Leif on this matchup. However, in the current competitive landscape, in the winter season of the year of our Lord 2025, Leif has actually improved quite a bit since then, and we might actually have a pretty interesting match in our hands here. All right, we got Leif, we got Kitty. In a matchup that is, wait, was this one of the matchups that was sort of difficult for, I think this matchup is difficult for one party to play, but I forget which one, right? Or is that a different matchup? I forgot. Duel 1. Well, I guess no use theorizing over it. We'll just have the players here show what it's all about. Oh my god, Johnny, please, with your 6K. Why are you terrorizing me with that absolutely beast of an anti-air from a decade away? And again, don't you try to escape the corner. The 6K will get you. And even from a half-screen distance away, the Joker trick delivering the final blow. So Johnny has lost quite a lot of his luster since the since the sort of the Johnny dominant days. Nowadays, not even considered top 1 anymore. Not even considered top 5 anymore, I think. And like it's so incredible what small things like modifying the frames of your forward dash or your back dash can do to a character, especially like a character like Johnny, that sort of everything around him revolves around like how fast he can step dash, right? Trying with the Mistfinder. Yeah, both these characters very far ranging. There we go with the whip punish. And even with Bridget's small combo damage, should be able to take it to the wall. Starting with the fabled 9-frame far slash, one of the better ones, and has a hitbox to make the opponent not able to like even jump at you very easily. Uh-oh, went a little bit too close, and Leif happy to take that back throw into some mix-up city. Wall is available as well. Wasn't able to queue up the super wall break though. Maybe it doesn't matter. Joker Trick has the priority here, goes through all projectiles, and most importantly, Joker Trick has a feature where you lock into animation, so afterwards, as long as you are locked into that sequence, that sort of the whatchamacallit, the video sequence, you can't be taken out of it anymore. And Joker Trick is one of the fastest projectiles in the game as well, so it's like very easy to get like sometimes even a reaction punish when you see an opponent throwing a projectile from other side of the screen, and like it's very easy to recognize when Bridget is using that Roger super, the screen flash and everything, and just cue Joker Trick after that. The Roger dive, able to get a successful hit. Ooh, but wasn't able to set up the yo-yo shenanigans from the Wild Assault. Usually available though, I think, if you play tightly enough. Here we go with the command grab. Yeah, Kitty. Now having to play a little bit more patiently on the defense. It was sort of a meme that all that Johnny players ever want to do on defense, like regardless of the Guilty Gear game, even if it's Exert, even if it's Guilty Gear Strive, all they want to do is backdash. But now, with the nerf Johnny backdash, you can't necessarily rely on that as much anymore. Ooh, got them with a Wild Assault. The yo-yo is still there. However, the deflect shell getting really nice value, pushing Leif out of the mix-up. Able to break into the corner. 6K again. That's what, third or fourth time. But I mean, that is kind of your go-to escape method as Bridget. You probably want to try to jump out, and then, yeah, this is one of the options. You can twirl out of the corner. But if the opponent knows that you're trying to escape, you're trying to struggle out with that jump, 6K is one of the tools. One of the tools of all time. There we go, tried to go for a mash kickstart my heart. But Thunder Kitty's like, nah. Situation has reversed though. We have the juice to burn for the mix-up. It's gonna be a throw. Although very little damage out of that goes for takes air and gets Thunder Kitty's throw baited. Close slash coming out. Thunder Kitty deems better of it and doesn't press into it, and the patience to get into the throw range and then the back throw. There's a lot of stuff that was packed in there into that small exchange within those 2 seconds. There we go, this time keeping it tight and keeping it throw safe as well. Very, very important, of course. You don't want to get your set play just throw mashed. There goes the DP with the jump in, forcing the situation. Kitty goes for a burst. Unfortunately, baited now. Nearing close to the 100 tension gauge, which does give Kitty a couple of different options here. I think Leif can go for a safe jump, yeah. It is indeed a safe jump, but with that 100, oh! Converted into a fully charged 5D. You kind of have to burst there. You don't want to give positive bonus to your opponent for finishing the full charge 5D sequence. Another really great use of deflect shield. Has been probably one of the ace cards for Thunder Kitty so far. Oh, that's so dirty. Forcing the 20 frame overhead with the airtight situation. Evening it up 1-1. Both players on the board. Hands getting warmer. This is where the real game starts. Slowly, after gathering data. Good trade here. Ooh, Kitty still goes for the burst here, huh? Kickstart my heart. I wonder if that was perfectly spaced there. Didn't get punished. Kitty didn't even press a button there, I think. Right, time to set it up. Instant overhead. Misses the sequence, though. Here's another thing. Johnny combos, Johnny sequences have also gotten a little harder to control after the nerfs as well. So, like, if you don't have the right... Oh, that's so sexy. From which side? Overhead. Into a delayed 2S. To catch them low. And the party ain't over yet. As long as Bridget has meter, that you can bet your ass that pressure is gonna keep on piling on itself. Especially when the opponent is drawing very close to low hit points. That's exactly the moment when you want to kind of blow all of your resources if possible. But now, speaking of resources, that card is on the ground. DP does get life out of it. Good position as well when Kitty's burst came out. That was just at the edge of that Mistfinder. Life survives to mix it another day. Both players have meter. YRC could be a thing. Not anymore though. 100 meter on the stage shift. Alright, are we gonna go for this? Oh, right, never mind, because that's a soft knockdown. Deflect shield is the tool of choice once again for Kitty. Wants to maintain that tension. Yeah, arguably a little bit more important for Johnny, especially since you are a Red Wild Assault user. And Red Wild Assault never, or no longer the sort of the power tool that it used to be in previous iterations of Guilty Gear. So nowadays it's the blue variant of the Wild Assault that kind of keeps up the pressure momentum, whereas previously it used to be the orange. Now the orange Wild Assault kind of only gets you hit confirms, right? So it's mostly a combo tool in an optimal world. Burst to maintain the corner. Ooh, and the RPS after 6k. So we've been talking about the Johnny 6k on hit and how like good it is chasing the opponent, trying to escape into the air. But on block there is quite a bit of like RPS still. Even though it's very minus, you can do a lot of different things. You can cancel it into, for example, Ensenga, or you could try to back off from the situation with the Mistfinder backdash, which I think Kitty used in the previous sequence. Oh, here we go with the hits. Set it up. Deflect shield once again puts Life in a situation where he just can't mix up anymore. But I mean, this character is very fast on her feet. Ooh, look at that close slash. Johnny has one of the highest reaching ones. Able to poke Life out of the Roger dive. Watch the overhead. Oh, but not the second one. Yeah, the overhead variant from the Bridget mix-up is definitely the safer option, which you can kind of make airtight, even if the opponent does have their... Ooh, we go into the fully charged 5D again, and this time Life does not have the burst to get out of it. Positive bonus, and then what? Oh, the shimmy! That should be it, right? No way that Life is gonna build that burst gauge back in time. Checkmate! Yeah, keeping up the chase. 2-2. Neither player with too much of what looks like to be too much of an advantage so far. We go with the early burst. Does not go for the fastest possible one. So biding their time, taking a little bit of damage in order to make it a little safer. Usually the longer you delay your burst, the harder it is also for the opponent to bait. Yeah, we have so much juice here. 50 going into this break. We have a safe jump available. And then another 50. Yeah, from that throw, RC, ooh, goes for a shimmy to salvage the situation. Oh. it's the Bridget buttons that get there first. It's so strange to see a character that can just have better buttons at particular spacings compared to Johnny. Johnny's just so used to being like the top dog of just absolute crazy sword normals. Another really nice shimmy here, this time with a back jump, or with a neutral jump, I think that was. And Leif is on fire on this game. Approach safely, maybe trying to bait out the burst here, which does come out eventually. Eventually you have to yield if you still want to play the game. If you don't want to just sit around and accept your fate, it has to. And making all the good routing choices. There was 100 meter going into that combo, but it doesn't really matter. You had it. There's nothing the opponent can do to break out of your combo anymore. Just spend it all and make sure that you get that wall break at the end as well. I'm gonna repeat myself. I would have never. Leif has come so far. I mean, of course, it's not over yet. We're just barely getting started. But I would have never wait Leif like 1 year, 2 years ago. I would never put him over like Thunder Kitty in terms of skill level. But things change when you play the game religiously, actively. You do get better at the video game as well. Age-old wisdom, some old Chinese guy once said, you play the game, and you get better at the game. Who the hell was that? That was a really smart guy. Right, drop him in the corner. Ooh, getting a nice reaction from Leif. Not just sitting there, not letting Thunder Kitty reach the situation with a card for free. Active defense, instant air dash out. And I think there is still counterplay, like if Johnny goes for that bluff and throws the card and you instant air dash. Johnny, if they're not ready with the anti-air, they or rather if they are ready with the anti-air, they can still catch you. But there are a lot of different like RPS paths for how that situation can unfold. Out of which this was one. Kitty went for it again in the middle of the pressure string. Like if you want to just straight up counter it, you would have to like just press your own button. Press one of your far-ranging buttons blindly. It's not something that you can do on reaction either. Ooh, able to save herself with that RC, but the overhit afterwards. Loop it to the other screen. Thunder Kitty once again, 50 meter available and full burst. But the bad news is we're gonna have to use it really soon. OTG, here's the burst. But now what? Chip situation and no FD being utilized, unfortunately, on the side of Kitty. It's a tough call out. Do you wanna like spend all of your meter to survive an FD there? Or do you wanna try to bet that you can survive the chip damage and just hold on to the meter? These are sort of the questions that we ponder every day in Guilty Gear Strive. By getting burst out. But Leif once again has... Ooh, that was a great jump slash from way further than I think the hitbox could like generally be able to connect with the opponent. I think Leif must have pressed the button there. Alright, but speaking of pressing the buttons, press them at the right timing and you shall have great rewards. Low is the mix-up option this time. Oh, hello, rock the baby. Do you have to be airborne for the rock the baby to connect there? Or do you have to use the airborne version? I guess. I guess that's the gist of it. Because they did add that functionality to... Was it just strictly to airborne rock the baby? I guess that's how it works nowadays. With a frame kill and a safe jump. Yeah, things have changed so much. You no longer necessarily just blindly go into your card setup from all of your things. All of your knockdowns, as you could kind of do in the past. Ooh, kickstart my heart, catching the backdash. Probably wouldn't have in the last version, right? The last previous iteration of Johnny's backdash would have just recovered in time. But no longer. Oh, how have the tables turned? 6-speed trading with the Roger dive. That's not great for Kitty. And there's no way out of it. Just before the burst comes back, Leif is turning on the heat. Perfect sequencing, perfect timing. It was, I think, literally 1 or 2 more hits, and Kitty might have been able to burst out. But no. 5-2. The pressure slowly, perhaps starting to mount up on Kitty's side. What's the adjustment that we gotta do here? Got with a small combo into the corner, into the set play. You already know the deal. How Bridget flows. Got them with the yo-yo. As the yo-yo is out, you do have access to your twirl. Far range conversion, Joker trick at the end. Thunder Kitty getting the positive bonus. We don't have a 9-frame safe jump here, do we? Ooh, but this time, it has been working out before. Thunder Kitty has Joker trick through that Roger super. However, this time Leif played it from an angle where the Joker trick can't reach anymore. It is a 100% horizontal projectile. You can't alter the course of it. Whereas Roger super, it will just home in on you from anywhere on the screen. Alright, into the super immediately. Let's see what the play here is. I'm still kind of sure that you don't have a safe jump here on... Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking about. You don't have a true safe jump, so it's on... The ball is kind of on Leif's court to call it out. Do you have the knowledge? And the knowledge is there. However, not enough. Kitty with a really, really fast round here. Looking to potentially bring it back. You are a very explosive character still. If you do have the new routing down, and even if you don't, I guess even the sort of the baby combos are fairly... Oh, there was a... I'm not sure if that was a misinput or if that was just a... Oh, get this catch. Yes, indeed. Super fast Joker trick. Not quite breaking the ball, but allowing Kitty to go into the classic mix-up. High or low. Make your bet. Reaches for the throw. Thunder Kitty in a perfect position to punish. However, try to bluff again. The opponent is not in block stun and is in fact pressing buttons. Missed there on the Oki set play. Opportunity though for Leif. Yeah, sometimes it happens this way around as well. It's not necessarily just Kitty who has to suffer from the, from the high level of execution. There is a decent amount of execution going into... Whoa, nice catch! Close slash! As Leif was passing over Kitty. That's a great recognition that you could get a punish there. Yeah, usually you would have to... I think it was also maybe a miscalculation from Leif's side that you didn't quite have the pension for the kickstart RC mix-up yet. Ooh, a nice 1-2, however... Super a little bit too late here. I wonder if that can connect. Block the baby. Setting up the set play. Another one. Low into high. Caught them in the aftermath once again. It's the most classic thing that you block the primary mix-ups, but then the pressure on the ground gets unchecked. Ooh, look at that. The players colliding in the air. There was like a... Kitty was trying to just blaze forward, but there's a push box that you can't go through, which is Bridget's dive kick starting up. Yeah, the chain dashing forward, so like... Wait, was the forward dash nerfed, or was it just the back dash? I think it was the forward dash as well, right? Yeah, it must have been, because like it is that's the meat and potatoes of your ability to set up your set play and the pressure. With a double jump, trying to delay in the air by taking the missed stance. Leif missing the combo. However, happy little accidents. We are far away from the opponent, and we have this nifty little tool that throws the yo-yo at the opponent and pretty much goes through everything with a blazing fast speed.
Duel 1. extremely great tool, especially if you're trying to hit the opponent for that last bit of hit points. Right, the early burst into more set play, following up with a command grab. Are you ready to react to this one? Kitty says, I'm done with this shit. Look at that, so slow. And it covers the distance so... Oh, I love it. I love seeing that thing. After probably every non-Johnny player who has suffered from the tyrannical reign of this character is just overjoyed seeing the slow step dashing forward. Ever so slowly inching Johnny's way forward. Anyway, Leif here, oh, sorry, not Leif, not quite yet on the set point. Went actually down around here versus Thunder Kitty. But potentially, if we do get this round, ooh, not believing in the setup, just going for the throw now. And the bluff instantly called out by Leif. He's like, I think you're gonna throw that card and I'm gonna call it out with my far slash. Ooh, the chase with the 6K. Very decent combo as well set up for the Oki. Guard crush, but it leaves you so far now. Ooh, trying to go for an F-Shiki maybe. Got them in the air. Ooh, still wants to play it. Okay. I mean, kinda... Or actually, I'm reading the rounds again. Of course, Leif had to go for it, because that would have killed him, so... No choice here but to burn the burst resource. Let's see if Kitty can stay alive. Big combo damage coming through. Not quite tension available for the heart knockdown. Nice read on the far slash. Here we go. 6B also great. On Leif's side, 100 meter. What can we do with that? Cross up jump came from the double jump. That was demon spacing. Into 100, spend the meter. Was probably trying to get the wall, but not working out for Kitty this time. And here comes Leif. My turn, or as they say in a different video game, my time. But let's see if it's the last time that we see these two characters on the screen. Finds the overhead. One more to go. Kitty does not have the burst, but does have the deflect shield that she's been utilizing so well. Completely outsmarts the Roger super, okay? Looking maybe for a Joker trick. Would you set it up? It's so hard to react to though. The yo-yo toss, the air throw, snatches Leif out of the sky, and Kitty still alive. We are potentially in a range to make this comeback. 6-4 no longer looks so bad, does it? Only three games. I say that as if that was an easy feat to make. Especially since Leif has been kind of on the driver's seat for the majority of this set. Got the overhead and super break as well. All right, Kitty. Are we re-warming up here? Ooh, the shimmy here. That must have been a throw. At the perfect frame as well, because I didn't even see the startup of that move. Inching forward, 1 step, 2 steps backwards, and then a counter hit. Ooh, nice backdash out of the 2S. And now, approaching into a throw. We get the setup here once again. And Kitty has absolutely nothing to fight against this. No tension, no deflect shield. So just gonna have to block these mix-up organically. Players missing each other. And again, he's probably trying to create a cross-up here, not quite getting it. But the throw, and set point position again, Leif. Full burst resources, we have everything, trying to hit confirm, no longer the beast that it used to be. Orange Wild Assault, another victim of the patch notes. They do say it is hit confirmable, but it's kinda difficult, let's put it like that. Especially in an online match. Ooh, nice instant air dash though. Doesn't get much, and Leif immediately back in there, forced to block stuff. Ooh, it's gonna be a punish on the landing frames. One more hit. Is that the hit? Is that the too heavy? Is that the Leif too heavy? It is! He's finished so many sets with that. And once again, the old faithful. Are you trying to escape the corner? The same kind of tool that we've seen from Kitty. Too heavy completely denies the escape trajectory, getting a big combo into wham bam, thank you ma'am. Leif 7-4 over Thunder Kitty. Crazy, crazy development on the side of Leif. I'm gonna be honest. I was like this close, but not quite there. Not quite ready to say that. Okay, I think Leif is gonna win this set. So it is kind of a, like, in my mind, that is a little bit of an underdog win, I would say. I wasn't ready to believe until the set was already on. One more though, one more. Oh, we got my boy Hoplan coming in the last slot matchup. I would get, yeah, I guess this no wait, this would be the top seed of the evening. Somehow I had completely forgot that we got Hoplan and Vidareq on the roster. Yes, of course. Of course, we have these beasts still. But let's see who is gonna blame the beasts and who is gonna claim it was pure gap. Vidareq for the first time on Bounty Hunters, if memory serves correctly. Yeah, I think that would be the right assessment. So it's gonna be debut match for our Milia player. Whereas if you've been watching Bounty Hunters at all in the last like 2 years, you would know this man Hoplan, extremely loved by the Finnish fighting game community. It has been a pleasure, you know. What's the word I'm looking for here? Marveling at the sort of the triumphant rise to power that Hoplan has made. And now at the very top end of the competition, there's a lot of levels on Vidareq. Can we make this happen? The numbers say that Hoplan is not quite there yet. If we're simply looking at the arbitrary bits and bytes in the virtual universe coming in, data straight from the ranked mode. The numbers say no, but my heart says yes. Let's see which one is correct. This is also a great opportunity to see like one of the higher end Milia players that we have in EMEA. Let's see what Vidareq is cooking. The cooking starts with a heart knockdown though. Milia, still one of those characters who, Milia's still one of those characters who, like, one of the best thing that you want is just to get a heart knockdown with a throw or with a 2D, just like this. That's gonna make a meaty disc happen, and it's gonna give you access to all of your nasty mix-ups. What a moves! This is kind of what I'm so afraid of. If I meet a Milia player and I'm usually gonna get twerked on just like this. I don't know which side she's ever gonna be on. I don't know which side she's gonna land on. I'm not, trying to get a YRC out of there. But of course, there is nothing to hit. Vidareq in the skies, flying away. Mile high. Yo, was that a 2K that countered Beyblade? No way. No way. Not in my Guilty Gear Strive. Right, dashing forward. Good check there to B. One carefully planned 2P. Not even two. Oh, found a hit. Opportunity to break the wall. Does take it. The hard knockdown. Hoplan kind of high on the blood. And only deflect shield left here to be utilized. Probably, yeah, tries to go for it, but the timing is not quite right. So as far as deflect shield is considered, if you have mastered the deflect shield OS, a lot of the mid-screen discs can be kind of, you know, they say can be kind of deflect shielded away for free, and it's really difficult for Amelia to sort of try to even counterplay that. That heavy disc stays online for such a long time. But now, with an opportunity with a double Fukyo forward and the neutral jump, both players patient. Here we go. Vidareq tried to dash in for the throw, reach for the cookie jar, and it's gonna be enough. With that, even the level 2 blood, the 6 heavy just does so much damage off the wall. That doesn't even have to be on the wall, like anywhere on the screen. Combo starter, combo filler, combo ender. Ooh, the presence of mind. Vidareq holding back when it mattered the most. Getting the opponent's burst. Full screen corner carry. And a heavy hard knockdown wall break. Good block there. Yeah, you see Melee players fishing for that Artemis a little bit more nowadays when it actually does give you a combo without just a counter hit. Speaking of counter hits, that close slash reached mighty high. Yeah, both players having this burn their meter, but Vidareq still rocking with more. And even then some. Wall break with that sliver of health ain't gonna save Hoplan this time around either. Starting with a DP, pulling them back onto the ground. Okay, instead of going for the Hotashi sequence, just routing into bot sucking universe instead from the stagger. All right, lots of damage. Soft knockdown though. The life lead is there, but I think Milia is another character who kind of subscribes to the ideology that health is kind of just cosmetic. You just want one more hit, and you can definitely put them in a situation where they just don't get to do much. Oh, did we get a disconnection? Right, from a 1-1 situation, let's see if the players notice. Oh wait, did it just I think it just ejected both the players at the same time. Okay, that's interesting. Or maybe they were on point at that. Because like when the spectators drop, the players also usually have, as far as I know, like please wait kind of a text here. Okay, from 1-1.
Duel 1.
Hoplan has definitely proved that he can slay this beast, this flying hawk, this mix-up woman. You have to catch her just once or maybe twice, as long as the burst is available. Ooh, that's a counter hit, Beyblade counter hit. One of the nastiest starters, routing into the pop, and then no super though. So I think Hoplan deemed that there is no kill with the baseball bat super, which, you know, if you think that that's the case, you can't use it. It puts you in 1 hit point. So probably the safest play here. The Rose is so close. 5K, standing reset. Comes Hoplan though, straight out of corner, into the other corner. And then is what? 6K gonna be enough? Of course it's gonna be enough. What time? 82 seconds on the clock. That was definitely an Agoriyuki round. I mean, that was a round that lasted like what? 16 seconds or so, and Hoplan was getting pressured during that round as well. That is crazy. Good check. Once again, one of the most important things, you have to RPS that forward Fukyo, especially from this kind of distance. from a point blank distance, or like a rather close distance, there's really no RPS really. You just check. You just check if he's coming forward. A little bit further away, Nagoriki could cancel into some other things. Most notably, I think, like Fukyo forward in the instant DP is kind of a demon move. Look at him with the 5k, however, that was... that a counter hit? Ooh, reach for the air throw. And it's very dangerous, especially since you have an angry Milia below you. Trying to find a hit with the 6 heavy, sorry, 2 heavy. I think that was still a level 2 heavy. I was really close to connecting with Milia there. YRC no longer gives you pressure close range though, so going back to neutral. Wow! The patience and then throwing on the landing. That's gonna pop. Oh, 2k is out! Hoplan routing into greatness. This is actually pretty great. As soon as this blood pop is over, slow down. What? DP lost to Far Slash? No way. What is this Milia character? How is she winning? First 2k beats Beyblade, then Far Slash beats DP. Is this real life? Milia, do you have something to tell us? Alright, and the 6k, the slower variation of her overheads. Of course, TK Bad Moon being the more dangerous. Oh, routing into a Samsho combo there. Couple of 6 heavies for the road and call it a day. A little too far to get anything after 5k. Again, an instant overhead routing into a kill. Nice. Yeah, so Hoplan definitely had a couple of options there. You could try to stick to the wall after the blood pop. But instead, going for the instant overhead route instead. Or it's like, what, low instant overhead throw. Just strike. I guess those are the options. Right, with the high blood, forced to burst. Ooh, this is a good one. Getting into a fighting distance. Trying to get as many heavy slices there as possible in order to get at least a little blood in order to close the distance after that exchange is over. And now this is gonna be a fresh exchange right from the get-go, spending all the blood, but also stealing 60% life from Vidareq. Into the reset. Yeah, even though there was so much forward momentum from that disc, still be able to... Oh my goodness. Oh, is that safe? That's not safe. Yes, it is. Oh, no, it isn't. Hoplan tried to go for the throw, the fastest possible option there. And it makes sense. Nagoriyuki is one of those, like, super far-range throw characters as well. But it's not the only thing that reaches far. Also, that close slash as an anti-air. In fact, both of these characters have the same feature. Wait for it again. Vidareq, ready to call it. There we go. I think that was the deflect shield OS performed properly by Hoplan. And you can see there how far away it just sends Milia straight to Chicago from the other side of the world. Super is the option this time around in order to, like, we can't really kill here by any reasonable means, so reducing the blood going to the other screen is the best option here. Okay, the back Fukyo, that was dangerously close to being able to bait the YRC out, but getting it out just in the nick of time. I guess in a lot of situations, if you YRC like immediately, if the next cancel is gonna be the back Fukyo and you sort of burst at the normal immediately, it should still catch Nagoriyuki with YRC. But I mean, if there's even a little bit of delay, then yeah, you risk that happening. Good trade for Hoplan here. Chasing with the Fukyos, fixing the blood problems. A minus after Beyblade. And Vidareq checking it smartly. Might be stacker pressure into more left-right shenanigans. All of those normals that can be jump cancelled. Always really dangerous. Nice! The DP anti-air. Please don't take air. I beg of you, stay on the ground. It's so nice and cozy here. With my Bloodburn. Ooh, another great trade. Maybe there was a pickup there, but was really difficult looking pickup for Hoplan. Ooh, got them. Ooh, wait a second. I think that's supposed to combo, especially in the corner. But might be a tight link there. Artemis into that microdash 2K. Ooh, got them with the clone Fukio. And into a reset. Did Hoplan press a button or not? FD cancel, not even needed. He did not. He was just baiting it. And now he's baiting the burst. Is it coming out? Vidareq, when is the burst coming out? Oh, look at that! That was like 1/5 of Vidareq's hit points. Oh my god. If you're not gonna give me the burst, I'm just gonna give you the 6 heavy. The bonk. Jeez. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised anymore. And there was... I think there was risk as well, and as we know, the new risk changes kind of favor like single hits a lot, so that was the most turbocharged 6 heavy of my Guilty Gear career. Right, unfortunately we're gonna miss this one, but we're gonna be back in action after the players do finish this. Hoplan with a decent lead here. Our very own, or wait, is this a sandbag? This might. I think I saw both players playing it. Or the first round there was like life lost on both sides, but is this a sandbag? I'm not sure. Or was this just a crazy dominant round for Hoplan? I mean, I'm going to assume that the players played that one out because of the first round. So correct me if I'm wrong, but it is feeling like a 6-2 for Hoplan at the moment. The boy's doing it again. Uh-oh. Ooh, this time no trades. Only clean 5p anti-airs, and that's a counter hit from a Beyblade. Finding a hit on the second hit of the overhead DP. That was a great late PRC there. Was able to catch and was also going into a blood pop any second. But able to secure the kill with a quick little throw. I think that, like, especially because there is so much lead here on Hoplan's side. I think he is one of those players who, like, when you are feeling it, when you are really feeling it, when I'm talking shit, Hoplan already finished the set. How many seconds? 15 seconds. It's done. It's freaking done. Oh my goodness. This is Nagoriyuki, ladies and gentlemen, with one of the best pilots. I think the best pilot that we have in Finland at the moment for this character. I guess because, like, not a whole lot of people play this character anymore. At least as a main character. Like, we have Neat and Hoplan, right? Both players kind of demons here. Okay, just quickly going over whether the round before that was a real match or a sandbag, and it looks like it was a legit round. Wow, the momentum just swung. I was like, while I was talking shit, like not just in the last game, but somewhere along the line, like Vidareq started so strong, I was flying all over, but then somewhere around like game 5 or so, Hoplan just was perfectly on top of everything. It's like just took a couple of games to warm up, and then the fate was sealed. The pack was sealed. Everything was as foreseen, and Hoplan takes it again against another top-level competitor. Demon stuff. All right, that would be our event of the evening. And to refresh your memories, if you want to play on Bounty Hunters, you can sign up by joining, for example, my Discord. That would be the easiest one to keep in contact with the players. Fill up the Google Docs or the sign-up forms, and we'll try to set you up with an opponent that has decent enough connection to your location, as well as is of your skill level as well. Yeah, we'll do this again every single Sunday, 5 p.m. CET. Now and for the foreseeable future, until the community dies, at least. I mean, it's the fate of all fighting games eventually. But till then, there is many gears to be guiltied. Let me see if there's any Guilty Gear action going on that I could send you guys off to. What are our options at the moment? I do not know a lot of these players, but the German-speaking community is having their monthlies again, so we could certainly raid that, and that's in fact what we're gonna do. So thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again next Sunday. Hope you had as much fun watching as I had casting. It feels much more comfortable doing like 6-game events, to be perfectly honest. I should probably transition to doing 6-game events instead of 7-game events, because 7 games is kind of tough. I'm not sure if you ever tried casting, but 7 games is kind of tough. Anyway, we'll see you again next week, next Sunday. Till then, stay safe and bye-bye.